We've got a massive Dodgers update, the latest on Roki Sasaki, Blake Trinan, Blake Snell, Ben Kasparius, Max Muncy. Are things trending in the right direction for the Dodgers? For the most part, they are. We got a bad update on Tony Gonsolin, and another reason why the Dodgers should go all in on the trade deadline based on another team releasing a certain player. That's coming up next on a jam-packed episode of Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
Dodgers win.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball.
Grand slam. It's a double for Freddie.
They're going to make big signings. They're going to make impact trades. This is the most anticipated season in Dodgers history.
Dodgers have won it all in 2020.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain, credentialed member of the Dodgers Media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. If you're new to the channel, do me a huge favor, join the party, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and if you're a longtime subscriber and you want to support the show every single day, hit the like button, drop a comment down below. Also, join the Discord, join my other channel, The Big Lead. Would appreciate that. But we've got so much Dodger baseball to get into. The Dodgers, 3-11 in their last 14 games. They've won 2 of 5 series this month. They're trying to avoid dropping their 4th series in July against the Twins today with Tyler Glasnow on the bump. But we've got so much Dodger baseball to get into, so let's get right into it.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
So the hottest story in Dodger baseball is Dave Roberts said yesterday, this better be rock bottom. And he was talking about the errors. He was talking about the walks. You had 2 costly errors yesterday, one by Miguel Rojas in the second that could have been an inning-ending double play. Instead, it led to a 3-run inning for the Twins. And then one in the 7th where the Dodgers were holding on to we're trailing 6-5, trying to get back into it, very within reach. And then you have Edgardo Henriquez making a season debut. He throws one into right field with the bases loaded on a little weak comebacker, and that leads to 3 runs for the Twins, and it becomes a 9-5 deficit. The errors are piling up, 12 errors for the Dodgers in the last month plus. That is the 3rd most in Major League Baseball. 7 walks yesterday, not enough run scoring opportunities. It's just been bad baseball for the Dodgers for the most part for over a month at this point. I mean, they've been playing below average baseball. So hopefully this is rock bottom, and something that can really help this Dodgers team is getting healthy, making some trades, and just getting right for this stretch run. And before today's game, Dave Roberts, he provided updates on multiple players, and these are very significant updates. Just moments ago, Doc told us that Tanner Scott, he informed reporters after last night's game that the MRI results, it was only inflammation in his elbow. There was no structural damage. Scott did say that he'll be shut down for a couple of days as he gets towards throwing in a throwing program, but he's confident that he is going to return to the bigs in the show this season. So there was a lot of concern that it was a little more serious, that something was definitely worse than it was meant to be, and he leaves the mound. He felt that stinger, but that was definitely a very positive sign that it looks like with Tanner Scott, it's not going to be something that's going to be season-ending. He actually talked to us yesterday in the Dodgers clubhouse for about a minute or so as he was leaving.
The MRI this morning, just how did it go? It seems like you, as well as others, are feeling relatively optimistic.
Yeah, better than we expected, and see how it feels in the next couple days. I mean, positive outcome.
Yeah, when you just in the moment, I have to imagine it was really scary and describe your own emotions, feeling of relief, and knowing that this could be a shorter IL stint?
Yeah, I mean, definitely when it was happening, I had no clue what was going on because I've never had an arm issue in my entire career. And I felt it on the 1-1 pitch, and then it kept getting worse, and I was like, no clue what it is. So after today, it kind of gave me like a clear head.
Did the MRI kind of show just inflammation or?
Yeah, inflammation.
No ligament damage?
No. Ligament's perfectly intact.
Have they given you an understanding it's just like timeline-wise as to what it could mean?
No, don't throw for the next, I think, 2 days, and then
Go from there.
start going from there and trending.
You feel confident that you'll be back this season?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
How tough is it just watching the bullpen as a whole struggle on a night like this?
I mean, it's tough. I mean, especially now that I'm on the IL, and I mean, I want to pitch, and I mean, things are going to turn around. Not worried.
Thank you.
So you got to respect the confidence. The truth of the matter is, though, $72 million for 4 years of Tanner Scott has not gotten off to the start that they would hoped. Last year, 1.75 ERA with the Marlins of the Padres. This year, that has jumped to 4.14, and he leads Major League Baseball with 7 blown saves. Does have 19 saves in 47 games this year, 45 2/3 innings. The strikeout rate has gone down, but the good news is that this is not season ending. He mentioned no structural damage. The ligament is intact, so that's extremely encouraging. And look, you just want to make this guy be a contributor, right? I mean, I think at this point, it's clear to me the Dodgers need to go big for reliever at the deadline. We saw Johan Duran yesterday. Everyone was freaking out that he gave up that home run to Shohei Ohtani. Hey, I like the fact that he was lowering his trade value just a little bit so he would make it easier for the Dodgers to acquire him. Mason Miller, David Bednar still has one more year of team control. You would get him for the remainder of this year, next season. We'll see about guys like Griffin Jacks, who looked really good. Ryan Helsley, Bender is a name that they have been kind of lurking towards too. So the Dodgers are going to add a reliever. It's just a matter of, is it going to be someone that is a role player type of reliever, or are they going to hit it out of the park and go big with a Mason Miller, Johan Duran, and Emmanuel Clase, one of the big names available. But it's evident at this point that Tanner Scott or not, you need to supplement this bullpen with what you lost with Evan Phillips being out for this season, and hopefully you get guys back. But more key updates from Dave Roberts. And one thing that Dave said about Roki Sasaki really stood out to me. I mean, he talked a lot about Roki Sasaki, who threw a 39-pitch bullpen session today at Dodgers Stadium this morning. He's going to throw again this weekend. He's going to go next week, and he'll likely end up in Arizona at the Dodgers facility, and he's going to begin facing hitters in live BP. So that definitely is extremely encouraging. Here was Roki Sasaki this morning at Dodger Stadium throwing a bullpen session. You had Mark Pryor and company looking on. And from what Dave said was he was asked if Roki Sasaki was going to be given some time to fix things mechanically when he came back. And Dave said, no, the time to work on and address those mechanics is now. So that definitely is extremely promising. The fact that you're addressing the mechanics now, you're feeling a little more comfortable, and the velocity is trending upward as well. That definitely is what you want to hear about for Roki Sasaki. Because let's not forget, last season, the Dodgers had a rookie pitcher that came from Japan in the NPB. And what did he do? Well, he missed significant time. And then he came back and he helped his team. Roki Sasaki hasn't pitched since May 9th against the Diamondbacks. So he will have missed significant time, and hopefully he can come back, learn from it, work through that, and help this team in some capacity. And the good news is that we're not talking about a major injury or surgery with him. So another bullpen on Saturday. Then sometime in the following week, he's going to face hitters. Dave said this is the time for him to figure things out. He said that The delivery has been much more consistent, and that's the word that they're looking for when it comes to Roki Sasaki, is consistency in those mechanics. That's what they want to see. And yes, I dubbed him the Roki of the year. Yes, I said that he had the potential to be the Dodgers version of Paul Skeens. I have a lot invested in Roki Sasaki. I want him to have some success at the highest levels, and I hope it's this year. But one thing that I've heard is that they feel like this was a necessary evil as far as the process of him becoming the pitcher that he has the potential to be. And that is that, hey, look, he's not going to come and have a Fernando Mania or a Nomo Mania or a guy that's just going to step onto the scene and right away be that elite pitcher. Let's not forget, to start the season, he was the number one prospect in baseball. Prospects are suspects. They are lottery tickets. They need time to develop, and I think that for a player that's a little emotional, a player that has a lot of pressure, when you look at how he left the Chibalote Marines, there was some controversy with that organization, whether or not they wanted to let him leave because they didn't feel like he did enough for the organization, and the media. The relationship he had with the Japanese media, quite frankly, was just not a healthy or good one. So a lot of pressure on him that he put on himself. He wants to be the best pitcher in the world. That's what Andrew Friedman told me in Dallas. So when you have that kind of pressure on you, it's definitely going to compound. But I still think this is extremely promising. And I think right now that Roki Sasaki is going to find a way to help this team in some capacity for the remainder of this season when he comes back, and potentially in the postseason. I think the stuff is so good. I like the fact that teams don't have familiarity with him. And I look at the fact that Yamamoto, who was much more refined, more seasoned, much more of an elevated pitcher that had more success in the NPB, but still a very similar thing in that he missed significant time, and he's going to get an opportunity to come back and see what he can do for this team. Another major update, and one that we desperately need. I need this guy back like I need oxygen. Like I need a hitter that can come back and solve this offense's problem, and that is Max Muncy. I told you a couple weeks ago, I was hanging out with Logan Webb up in San Francisco, and the most interesting thing that Logan Webb told me was, hey, when the Giants play the Dodgers, we don't game plan as much for Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, or Mookie Betts because we know what those guys are trying to do. The guy that we game plan most for is Max Muncy. Max Muncy, I think, has proven to be the glue to the Dodgers offense. He is the milk to their cereal. He is the barbecue sauce to their ribs. He is what really takes this lineup to the next level because he sees the most pitches per at-bat than any batter in this Dodgers lineup. We're talking 4.3 pitches per at-bat, keeping pitchers honest, getting walks, and getting home runs and doing damage. Well, Dave said that Max Muncy is going to Arizona tomorrow. He's going to take live at-bats for a few days, and then as they get through the weekend, they're going to see where he's at as far as starting a rehab assignment, and we'll see if he can just come back. So that definitely is extremely promising. Max Muncy is going to be at their spring training complex in Arizona. He'll be there tomorrow. He's going to take live at-bats for a couple days. And I think, look, it's pretty clear at this point, if he comes out of that without any issues, that he's going to be cleared to start a rehab assignment. And that's going to be a quick one because the recovery from that left knee bone bruise has definitely been something that has been surprising with how quickly he's healed, how mobile he is. I saw him on the field taking ground balls and just kind of moving around. And it looks like, honestly, if the World Series was tomorrow, that he'd be able to go. That's how good he looks. And look, the truth is, this team misses Max Muncy. He was better than Will Smith, better than Shohei Ohtani for the month that he was having before he went down. That's how explosive he was. He had a weighted runs created plus over 200. He led the team in offensive production once he started to get hot, once he put the glasses on, and once he really started to figure things out. And it also kind of makes me think, too, is, look, this Dodgers team, they have caught some breaks this year with the injuries. Tyler Glasnow not out for the season. Blake Snell not out for this season. Max Muncy looked like it could have been an ACL tear or worse. He's not out for the season. Tanner Scott looked like it could be worse. He's not out for the season. So for as many injury issues as the Dodgers have had, they have caught some breaks this season. So as long as it's not season ending, it's not going to be earth crushing. So that's definitely a very positive thing. Now, I do want to throw in a rumor here. The Athletics' Jim Bowden, he was talking about the Dodgers at the trade deadline, and he said, quote, the Dodgers will be open to also adding a utility player to help fill in the gaps left by their injured players, including third baseman Max Muncy, who is making progress in his recovery from a knee injury. So, I mean, I personally don't think that this is a move to replace Max Muncy. I think that this would be potentially a move to add another bat because of the injury that Kike Hernandez is dealing with the elbow that's become more concerning as it just has not responded the way that they had hoped. But yeah, I mean, you need to add another bat, whether that be for Michael Conforto, whether that be for the bench. It does feel like you got to add another stick to the lineup, and we're going to drop top 10 bats the Dodgers could add tomorrow for the show. So be on the lookout for that. But absolutely, I mean, 100%. I mean, this is a team that has great players, and when they're all hitting, the lineup is producing runs. But sure, I mean, you definitely could use another bat, and we'll see what they do at the deadline. I mean, Michael Conforto has been able to get some hits and start to produce a little bit, but what have I said this entire year? That if he has to be the offensive version of Noah Syndergaard, they're not going to be afraid to move on from him. And they signed Noah Syndergaard to that 1 year, $13 million deal. Didn't work out. They moved on during the season at the trade deadline around that time. This year, $17 million for Conforto. If they feel like he's not going to produce at the highest level when they need him to, they will have no issue moving on. Now, another update that was concerning was about Tony Gonsolin. So Dave said that Tony Gonsolin is not throwing yet and that time is running out on him and that he hasn't got worse. He's just not improved. So this is extremely deflating for Tony Gonsolin, who has worked his way back from Tommy John surgery, and he had some flashes early on in the season. I mean, he definitely was starting to struggle there towards the end. When he went down, he was 3-2 with a 5 ERA and a 142 WHIP, and the Dodgers ended up transferring him to the 60 DIL on June 19th. But he has right elbow soreness, and the image showed that the UCL was intact, but they shut him down for an indefinite period, and he wasn't supposed to be ready until August, and we're almost to August, and he's showing no signs. And he's got to get back out there on the mound if he's going to contribute in any capacity this season. And this is just extremely concerning for Tony Gonsolin because, I mean, this is a guy that is under team control for one more season after this year. And it just feels like, hey, I mean, maybe this guy's career is in jeopardy at this point. I mean, you come back from Tommy John surgery, and now you have this. It almost reminds me of Dustin May, where he comes back and then from Tommy John surgery and then ultimately had to undergo flexor tendon repair and was lost too. So I don't want to jump to conclusions or anything like that, but this definitely is not what you want to hear. And I think my big takeaway from this is the Catman, he's close to using up his 9 lives at this point when it comes to the injuries, when it comes to the effectiveness. And I think that there's a minimal chance that Tony Gonsolin is going to be back contributing at a high level for this team. I think that if guys stay healthy, I mean, you got the starters that you know are locks, right, when they're healthy. Tyler Glasnow, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Blake Snell, Shohei Ohtani, Clayton Kershaw. I mean, you're already up to 5 starters. And then there's that next tier where you got Emmet Sheehan, and you got Roki Sasaki, who is on the mend as well. I mean, they've got guys that they can go through in these situations. I mean, Dustin May, I saw people took David Vassay's comments about Dustin May a little out of context, where David Vassay pointed out that Dustin May was taking pictures on the Dodger Stadium field after his last start, and he said that he could be traded. Well, guess what? Of course he could be traded. Anyone could be traded. I think for Dustin May, one thing a player told me, I was talking to a Dodger player, and this Dodger player told me that Dustin May believes that he's the best pitcher on the team. That if you went inside Dustin May's brain and asked who is the best pitcher on the Dodgers, he actually thinks that it's him. And I love that about him. I love that he's wired that way. The fact that these guys are pitching on this level is because they have that. I mean, Muhammad Ali famously said, I said I was the greatest even before I knew I was. So you got to respect that mentality. But the reason I bring that up is that I think Dustin May, who came in after Shohei Ohtani in his last start and really did a decent job. He was working around traffic, and he definitely had some base runners. But all in all, on Monday, you look at his line. He went 4 2/3 innings, gave up no runs on 5 hits, 4 strikeouts, 3 walks, through 100 pitches. He has a 4.73 ERA this season. He's been grinding all year, just making every turn through the rotation. So it's only been him and Yamamoto who have been posting for this rotation for the whole season. But I think with Dustin May, if he does get traded, it's almost because, hey, they feel good about the health of their rotation and the guys coming back. They will have added some relievers at the deadline. Remember, I want 2, not just 1. So if you add a couple relievers and then your starting rotation where you just need 4 of those guys in October, well, yeah, you could just see a situation where if I'm Dustin May, would I rather be traded to a team where I can make another 5 to 10 starts while I'm entering my free agency? Or would I want to be stuck on the Dodgers where I'm not going to be starting games, or I'm going to be possibly coming out of the bullpen in a piggyback role or in a multi-inning reliever situation, but I'm not going to be one of those high leverage guys like the Michael Kopechs and the Tanner Scotts and guys like that, Blake Trinans when everyone's healthy. So if I'm Dustin May, it almost feels like there could be a solid done for him, almost like there was for Ross Stripling in 2020 when it's like, hey, we don't have a role for you at this point. Why don't we trade you and you can compile some stats and can compile some starts? That way, if you stay healthy and you enter free agency, he's going to get some money. Like, let's be honest. Like, Dustin May, if he finishes this season and everything goes as planned as far as a health standpoint, he's going to get paid. He's not going to get a $200 million contract or anything, but with the kind of stuff that he has in another team where he's got a more prominent role, look, he hasn't had a great year, but he's at 99 innings of work. And I still think that if I'm a team, I'm looking at Dustin May as this is his first year coming back after those arm injuries. But the second year, he's just 28. This is age 27 season. He'll be 28 for that contract. So I almost think that, yeah, he's a logical guy to see traded. He doesn't have a ton of trade value, but I do think that the Dodgers have shown in the past that they're willing to take care of some of their players and give them opportunities. And I think Dustin May could certainly be a guy that is traded at the deadline. And I don't think that necessarily he would be that upset about it when you look at what's at stake for him, big picture, as far as his contract. So get your money, Dustin May. And if that means you got to be on another team, then so be it. Now, another update. Dave Roberts spoke a lot this morning. Shohei Ohtani is going to start next week. It's going to be Monday. So Ohtani's going to start on Monday. He will not pitch during the Dodgers series against the Boston Red Sox in Fenway Park. His next start will come on Monday in Cincinnati, a 4:10 Pacific first pitch. So originally, the probables had him going on Sunday against Walker Buehler in the 10:35 a.m. game, but they're bumping that, and it's going to be Shohei Ohtani going on Monday, and the goal for Shohei is to go 4 innings. So 4 innings for Shohei Ohtani as he continues to ramp up. He's continued to really pitch well. The strikeout rate, you want to see it go up. He threw 46 pitches, gave up the home run to Buxton on the sweeper that kind of hung up there, but he's trending in the right direction. 4 innings is going to turn to 5 and then possibly 6. I still like Shohei in a hybrid piggyback role with Emmet Sheehan in the postseason, because it was great to see him have that home run on Monday where he gave up the home run to Buxton, then had the 2-run shot. But I definitely want to see a Emmet Sheehan kind of in a short burst, long relief, piggyback type of role where you kind of bridge Shohei to the high leverage guys if he makes his start in the postseason. So that's where I'm at with that. Also, I'm going to throw out a Shoey prop. Should I do it? What do you guys think about this? I was thinking about maybe instead of a beer shoe, I could do a shot shoey in these Jordan 1s. What do you think? Maybe a shot shoey? Do some tequila? Do some absinthe? I don't know. Whatever it takes to get the Dodgers win. But today is going to be, if Shohei Ohtani hits a home run, I'm going to do a Shohei. And you're like, wait a second. Shohei Ohtani home run? That's not a big deal. Well, it is a big deal when it's your 5th home run in consecutive games, because the Dodgers record is 5 consecutive games with a home run. It's been done 5 times. Roy Campanella from June 11th through the 17th. Sean Green, July 21st. And that was Roy Campanella back in 1950. So Roy Campanella did it June 11th through June 17th in 1950. Sean Green, July 21st through the 25th of 2001. Matt Kemp, September 28th to October 3rd, 2010. Jock Peterson, May 31st to June 3rd, 2015. And Max Muncy, the Funky Muncy, August 15th through the 21st of 2019. So you can extend it to multiple seasons, where Adrian Gonzalez, he homered in his last 2 regular season games in 2014. Then he opened up with 3 straight home runs in 2015. So that was fine for him. But the record would be 6 straight games. So Shohei needs to hit a home run today, and then he needs to hit one on Friday against the Red Sox. But you know what? Just to have some fun to win a series, for him to tie that record, I'll give him that love, because Shohei Ohtani has been on a heater. And you look at that at bat yesterday. I was watching the game. I met a lot of you guys yesterday too. I want to give some love, some shout outs too. If I ever see you guys at the game, I always see tons of you guys at the game. And when I see you guys at the game, I like to meet you guys, talk ball a little bit. I've seen tons of you guys all year. Who did I see yesterday? I saw Nick. I saw Jordan. I saw my man who I gave the autograph to. I put that on our Instagram story, by the way, if you want to check that out. Sergio, I believe. But, yeah, great to meet you guys. It was awesome with the Ohtani jersey with the gold on the back. It was super cool. Great to meet you guys at the game, so I want to give you guys some shout-outs. But as I was watching the game with some of these Dodgers fans, I mean, we're watching Shohei Ohtani, and he was missing some fastballs in the zone. And I was like, you know what? Not tonight. The streak's going to end tonight. And then Shohei Ohtani, he goes up there against Johan Duran, and he crushes a home run on a pitch that was 100 miles per hour, and he didn't pull it. It was on the outer half for an opposite field home run on a 100 mile per hour pitch. One of the most impressive home runs you'll see this season. I mean, just absolutely crazy stuff.
Smack the other way. Bader's back. Goodbye. Wow, what a marvel. Shohei Ohtani off Johan Duran. For the first time in his career, he's gone deep 4 games in a row.
So the first time in his career off Johan Duran, 4 home runs, first Japanese player to ever do that. And Shohei Ohtani is really turning June Tani into July Tani, because June wasn't a great month for him, but you look at where he's at this month, and you're starting to see the slug go up. And I think for him, it's like I said yesterday, he hit 4 home runs in a row, but 3 of those games the Dodgers lost. He has got to feel like he is on the Angels once again, where he's providing all this offense, but the team isn't winning games. But for the month of July, he's hitting just 203, does have an 851 OPS, and you're seeing that trend up after the All-Star break, 4 straight home runs. But yeah, I was getting, if you guys know the legend, that is Tungsten Arm O'Doyle. It was back when he was on the Angels. Every time that Shohei Ohtani would make something happen and do something great, they'd be like, oh, this is the first time this has happened since Tungsten Arm O'Doyle back in 19 so-and-so, 18 so-and-so. And that was kind of why you would celebrate Shohei, and then the Angels would lose that game. So you don't want to have that happen. You want to see them take advantage of those home runs. And really, for the Dodgers to lose 3 of the 4 games where he hits a home run, it definitely is a microcosm of kind of where this team's at. It is also kind of weird, too, because you're seeing games where the Dodgers have lost when they've scored 7 runs, and it's not a practical thing. I mean, the Dodgers are 6-4 in games where you've scored 7 runs this year. I mean, that's just weird. I mean, they've lost 3 straight games where they've scored 7 runs. This year, teams are combined 150 and 44 when they've scored 7 runs. That's a 773 win percentage. But the Dodgers are 6-4 this year when they've scored 7 runs. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, up until the end of June, the Dodgers are 27-3 with a 900 win percentage when they've scored 7 runs. So, I mean, July, they've scored 7 runs 3 times in their 17 games, and you've had 3 losses to look at that. So, yeah, I mean, it's just the last one we had the 8-7 loss to the Giants back up in San Francisco. So, yep, the Dodgers, they're hoping to get going today. Let's look at the lineup, and I want to get your called shots. I want your called shots. Who is going deep for the Dodgers in this one? Who's going deep? I'll give you the lineup first. And Mookie Betts, another crack at the leadoff spot. He's batting first at shortstop. Shohei Ohtani batting second at DH. Teoscar Hernandez had his bobblehead night. Here, I got the bobblehead right now. We'll do a little bobblehead review on this in a second. But Teoscar Hernandez in right, batting third. Freddie Freeman batting cleanup at first. Andy Pages in left field, batting fifth. Pages has gotten it going since the All-Star break, a 1,000-plus OPS back-to-back games with a home run. Dalton Rushing gets the start behind the dish in this one, batting sixth. Then Haesung Kim batting seventh at second base. Tommy Edman batting eighth at third base. And James Outman in center field batting ninth. Then Tyler Glasnow is on the bump. But let me know down below in the comment section, who is your pick to click in this one? And we'll get to that next on the 7th inning stretch.
The 7th inning stretch.
All right, so this is the 7th inning stretch where I read all of your comments. Open it up to you guys. Joe Megazzeni, D-Mac, what would you change with the Dodgers for the current iteration? I mean, look, I've said this before, but I mean, I think you would much rather see Alex Freeland up instead of Esteury Ruiz, especially when you have an extra outfielder that's starting today in James Outman. If you want to kind of develop guys and build trade value and try to see what they have, things like that. Another change I would definitely want to see is, I mean, I definitely would put Tommy Edman after Max Muncy comes back at shortstop and move Mookie Betts to second base. I just think that that makes the most sense for the postseason, just because Tommy Edman at shortstop was a reason why the Dodgers won the World Series last year. And Mookie Betts, after 2 games batting leadoff, having base hits last night, it wasn't a good night for Mookie Betts. So he's going to need more time at the leadoff spot to see if that can do something for him as far as just having a on-base type of approach and just trying to find a way to put a runner on base to give Shohei Ohtani an opportunity. But so far, Mookie, since batting the leadoff, he's 2 for 12 with a double. The strikeouts, though, have gone down. The strikeouts haven't been an issue at all this year for Mookie. He has just 1 strikeout in those 12 at-bats. It's just no hard contact consistently, and the bat speed has been low. But that's where they're at with that one. Okay, some more. Arenado is coming from E-Ray. Dalton rushing home run for Major Chip Hazard. Johnny Baum, I really like Kim and Pajes. Christian Outman, career game today. Johnny Baum. We got Birasama Kike throwing a no-hitter. We're Sneaky Panda, by the way. I'm looking for that DM to send you a shirt. HSK will homer. Anthony Romero, nobody I pick. No one. They might not even score a run today. My pick is the bullpen. If they can hold a lead, they'll win the game. Mark Sr. Steven Schroeder, Freddie goes yard. I like that pick. I like that. Freddie Freeman has talked about a new hit cue after seeing a picture of his walk-off grand slam in the World Series, and that hit cue allowing him to get his front foot down and not being as late on pitches. So we'll see if that pays dividends, because Freddie Freeman has really had a big dip in the power department this season, has not hit a home run in the month of July. The last home run that he hit was on Saturday, June 28th in Kansas City. That was his last home run. So it's been a while since Freddie Freeman left the yard, and today would be a great day to do that. We got Mike Petty. They have 7 second basemen. They need Mookie in right field. The thing about Mookie in right field is this. Is one, I can tell you that from sources, he wants to be in the infield, and he's made it clear to the organization that he does not want to be in right field, that he does not move like he used to move. If you look at his sprint speed, it has gone down. I look at that hip injury that he had in 2021 and wonder if that was a reason for that. But he wants to be in the infield. He came up as an infielder. If it wasn't for Dustin Pedroia being on the Red Sox, he probably would have remained there. But to your point, he is a 6-time Gold Glove Award winning right fielder. The thing is if he's in right field, you basically put Teoscar Hernandez in left, where the balls hit to him more. And also that means you basically give up on the Michael Conforto experiment. You make him a bench guy, and they need to evaluate what they have in Michael Conforto at the moment to see if they're going to make a trade and try to replace him. And then you put Andy Paz in center field. So that's kind of why that is that. But then also you want to see what you got in Hesung Kim. This is a great month for experimenting. Keith Potter, D-Mac, I wonder if Conforto packs his belongings every night and leaves them by the door. I'll personally drive him to the airport. Stephen Campbell, that was last year, bro. Kim is playing too well to set 100%. Must start every day. Delirium 9, Dalton hits a 3-run home run today. Alvin will hit one into the bullpen. Glasnow pitches onto the 7th with 1 earned run. Yeah, I'm very excited to see Tyler Glasnow. The top 3 things I'm looking to see in this game are, can Tyler Glasnow build on the success that he's had since he's been back? In 2 starts since returning after making just 5 starts, dealing with the shoulder and just the soreness, Tyler Glasnow in his last 2 starts has given up 1 run on 6 hits, 11 strikeouts and 4 walks in 11 innings of work. He's been really good. That's the number one thing I'm looking for, because if he builds on that success, it does feel like the Dodgers have added another ace that you were unsure about early on in the season. Second thing I'm looking for, Mookie's production at the leadoff spot. I mean, if he does not have a good game today, then it starts to be like, okay, then what the heck do we do with Mookie Betts if this builds and you're 2 weeks into this at leadoff and he's still putting up the same numbers? Would you consider moving him out of the top 3 in the order? I think that's a tough conversation that they would have to have. Third thing I'm looking for in this one is, can Shohei Ohtani hit a 5th home run in a row? I mean, that's just kind of a fun one, but that's absolutely a storyline, just because this team hasn't created enough run-scoring opportunities, but you kind of have to take what you can get. And with him, that is definitely going to be something to see if he can make history. He's always making history. But We got Nando 390, D-Mac doing body shots if Ohtani goes yard. All right, sweet. I'll do him off Tony Taters. He's always, by the way, Tony Taters producing this show remotely. He's the man. Love me some Tony Taters. Elman Chingon, hey, D-Mac, do you think there's any comparison between Betts and Lindor, meaning when Lindor went from Cleveland to New York, he struggled bad. Now that he's been there 3 years, he's back to form. I mean, the thing about Lindor, he's actually mired in the worst slump of his career. Francisco Lindor is over his last 30. But no, it's a big difference because Mookie Betts, 2020, after he was leading off, he was good. 2021, he was really good. 2022, he was really good. I mean, 2023, Mookie Betts had more WAR than Ronald Acuna Jr. He could have won an MVP, so he already had a lot of really good seasons for sure. Nando 390, Jim Bode needs to fire his barber. Bruh. We got keep Mookie where he is. Hitters get cold and get hot. It's baseball. It's always going to happen. Trade for Steven left fielder. He must. D-Mac, do you think Robert said he had faith in Conforto to elevate his trade value, wish Conforto the best, but want our team to do well too? That's from Matthew. I mean, that's what Dave's going to do. That's one of his biggest strengths, is giving guys confidence when they're struggling. I think that Dave and the organization are hoping that Conforto can find it, and they just want to say to themselves that we did everything we could to help him be the best player that he could be. And if that doesn't happen, then they're going to look elsewhere. I asked Dave Roberts if he thought that Conforto was going to have a big second half, and he said yes. And the reasons were that he did make some mechanical adjustments. He is using a lighter bat, but it's tough. I think people are expecting him to be Teoscar Hernandez from a couple years ago or JD Martinez from a couple years ago, because those guys were one-year contract guys that had all-star seasons with the Dodgers. Unfortunately, it just has not been the case. Do we have a Blake Snell update? We do have a Blake Snell update, and Dave Roberts did say that he is not going to travel with the team to Boston, but he did make his third rehab start on Sunday. He went 4 innings for AAA Oklahoma City, the Comments, against the Sacramento River Cats, and he gave up 1 run on 4 hits. He had 6 strikeouts. He threw 59 pitches, 38 strikes. He did have 1 walk, but Dave Roberts said the plan is for him to make his next rehab start and that he's going to rejoin the Dodgers after that. Dave Roberts said, quote, he's going to have another one. It'll probably be Saturday. So he'll have another one on Saturday, and it'll be a 5-inning and 75-pitch start. And then at that point in time, it'll be a conversation on if he comes back with us or does another one. So, I mean, a 2 ERA, 1 whip, 17 strikeouts, and 9 innings of work this year in 2 starts. They need him back just to have him be the guy that he is in the second half. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. I still don't regret the Blake Snell signing. I still think that if he goes out there and pitches like he has throughout his career in the second half of the postseason, it'll still be considered a good signing for the Dodgers. And I'm still willing to take that bet for sure. But all right, guys, it's almost game time. So let's get this dub. Let's win this series. Let's have Tyler Glasnow have a positive outing. And then if Shohei Ohtani hits a home run for the 5th straight game, your boy will do a shoey on the post-game show. But that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at Deep. Actually, let's do a couple more here. I see you guys. We'll hit a walk-off, too. We got game times in 5 minutes. Major Chip Hazard. Absolutely is. We've got some more you guys out there. But, yeah, later this week, we're going to have Buster Olney. We're going to have a couple of prospects that were in the draft. So, exciting week here on Dodgers Dugout Live. But we're running out of time, so let's get to the walk-off.
The walk-off.
Hits the ball to right field. She is gone!
So, one of the big conversations moving forward that I want to prime you guys on at some point is the fact that Major League Baseball has their collective bargaining agreement that's expiring, and it could be a lockout after the 2026 season. And one of the couple of reasons why I think the Dodgers absolutely need to be all in, because you don't know what's going to happen to the CBA. And Manfred was quoted as saying recently that he did not pitch the idea of a salary cap to the players. Manfred said, first of all, when I talk to players, I don't try to convince them that a salary cap system would be a good thing. Literally what I say to them is I identify a problem in the media business and explain to them that owners need to change that problem. I then identify a second problem that we need to work together on, and that is that our fans in a lot of markets who feel like we have a competitive balance problem. I never use the word salary, one of a cap. What I do to say to them is addressing the competitive issue that's real. We should think about this system is the perfect system for a player's perspective. And my only goal there is to not convince them of one system or another, but to convince them that everybody going to the table with an open mind to try to address a problem that's a fan-driven problem that leads to better collective bargaining and a better outcome. I know that was a lot of words there, but basically what I'm trying to tell you is that there could be some big changes to the competitive environment of Major League Baseball, and the Dodgers are in a position where, hey, we can pay as many players as we want. We just have to pay a surcharge on it. So that's why I think you want to squeeze as many World Series titles out of this run in the primes of the current players. And then if things change, then you won't have to adjust to a new system. And then also, too, did you guys see that the Minnesota Twins released former Dodgers prospect, their top prospect at one point, Diego Cartaya? The former Dodgers catcher was released, and that's another reason why, yes, you got the Yordan Alvarez's, yes, you got the O'Neill Cruz's, Pedro Martinez's, but it's another reason why you got to go all in. Is some of these great prospects, they don't turn out, too. So you have the opposite example on the flip side. But that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. See you guys after the game, and we will break everything down in the post-game show. But remember, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button on your way out. And remember that nothing, absolutely nothing brings together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if...
But before we leave, a reminder that today's episode of Dodgers Dugout Live is brought to you by our friends over at Factor Meals. So you guys know that I'm all about Factor Meals, and Dodgers summer is here, and that means more sun, more light, and more time to make trips to the stadium to make summer special. And the number one thing you don't want to be doing this summer, spending hours cooking inside. That's where Factor Meals comes in. Factor's chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals are ready in just 2 minutes, taking the hassle out of eating well. I wouldn't have the energy to host this show if it wasn't powered by Factor Meals. And with 45 weekly menu options, you can pick gourmet meals that fit your summer gains and goals. Choose from options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. These meals arrive fresh and ready to eat, so you have time for all of your activities throughout the day. My go-to Factor meals lately have been a Parmesan and garlic cream, shredded beef, and the smoky barbecue chicken breast. Get started at factormeals.com/Dodgers50off and use code Dodgers50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code Dodgers50off at factormeals.com/Dodgers50off for 50% off plus free shipping. Factormeals.com/Dodgers50off. But that's going to do it, guys. Until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if
Sandy into his windup. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed a perfect play. High fly ball.